Unlocking reliable firepower doesn't have to break the bank. Welcome to Flash Review, where we're about to dive into a realm where affordability meets self-defense, presenting the 5 best budget handguns under $500. Whether you're a seasoned enthusiast or a first-time buyer, our expertly curated list will showcase top-notch handguns that prove you don't need to sacrifice quality for price. Join us as we explore the perfect blend of performance, value, and security, helping you make an informed choice without straining your wallet. Let's gear up and discover the ultimate companions for responsible firearm ownership. Number 5. Berretta APX. During the Military Modular Handgun System (MHS) competition to replace the U.S. Armed Forces Service pistol, Berretta came out with its own striker fire pistol, the Berretta APX. This pistol has been around since 2015, initially was only available to the military and law enforcement. By now you may have seen it at gun shows and is available to the public. This Berretta APX is a full-size service pistol with a 4.24-inch barrel. Competing for that coveted MHS service pistol is no joke. With all the modification that went into the design, it's no wonder the APX performed so well. The stainless steel chassis design means that you can get different frame colors and sizes as well as different slides and barrels to create subcompact, compact, and full-size versions of the pistol just by moving around the fire control group without any additional paperwork. Currently, the APX is offered in 9mm and 40 S&W. The magazine capacity holds 17 rounds, in 9mm and 15 rounds in 40 S&W. While it's true how a gun feels has little or nothing to do with how it actually shoots, many that have shot the APX agree it feels good. The sights were easy to pick up under rapid fire, which is a plus. These are 3 dots, big dot at the front with the 2 rear smaller dots. Number 4. Bersa Thunder 9 Pro XT. The Argentinian gunmaker Bersa has a cult following, and for good reason. While I've never found them to be particularly good-looking guns, I've shot a few of their Thunder 380 ACP pistols in the past. I've found them to be good simple guns at a relatively low price points. The Bersa Thunder 9 Pro XT is a step up in power and features. Is it still a great value? Bersa Thunder 9 Pro XT is the competition version of Bersa's Thunder Pro 940 duty gun. You can see the lines of the high power in both firearms, but the XT's controls look kludged. All of the levers are oversized, stuck right next to each other. They look like they were designed by the guy who makes electronics for toddlers. The Pro XT's frame is an odd match of flats, edges, and curves, with cutouts and angles deployed with near-random abandon. I generally like two-toned guns, but the light gray Cerakote of the XT's frame looks cheap next to the dull black slide and grips. The all-black model, not shown, would be the more elegant choice. The Bersa guns I shot previously were all based on direct blowback actions, completely suitable for smaller cartridges. The Thunder Pro 9 XT is based on the now ubiquitous Browning Petter action. When I look at this gun, I see high-power CZ75 Beretta 51 92 FNX. And that's what it felt like too, but in many ways even better. The Pro XT feels a lot like my duty Beretta 92 FS. The Pro XT is not as pretty as its Italian cousin, but the Argentinian has better sights and a better grip. It's more accurate and completely reliable. In fact, the Pro XT shoots and runs just as well as my Wilson Combat Beretta 92G. Number 3. Ruger LC9. The Ruger LC9s is a redesigned version of the Ruger LC9, which has a hammer-fired, double-action-only Dio setup. The 9mm striker-fired LC9s has an improved trigger, but still has a magazine disconnect and thumb safety. This is a subcompact, single-stack pistol made for concealed carry and, perhaps, for people with smaller hands. As a single-stack, subcompact, the LC9s is purpose-made for concealed carry. It is well-suited to deep concealment or even pocket carry, in big pockets, as on cargo shorts and the like. Given its diminutive characteristics for a 9mm pistol, it is even more specifically tailored for very close encounters rather than medium-range engagements. As 9mm single-stack pistols go, Ruger's LC9s is on the small side and either identical in size or slightly smaller than its primary competitors, like the M&P Shield, Glock 43, and Springfield XDs, and it's lighter than all of them except for the Car CM9. The LC9s has an even smaller grip than these other pistols, especially with regard to grip width. Therefore, it is perhaps well suited to people who have smaller hands. When I first started shooting the LC9s, the first things I noticed were the extra tiny grip width and the long trigger press and reset. Basically, my medium-sized hands swallowed the frame and my trigger finger had to do more work than I'm used to while breaking a string of shots. At first, the long trigger made it hard for me to hold on target, but I quickly got the hang of it. Not terrible, just different from what I'm used to. The trigger is quite long, and the reset seems like it is even longer. Given these qualities, I'm no fan of the trigger length. I note, however, that the quality of the trigger action is very good. The trigger has an exceptionally smooth take-up, clear wall, and smooth break. If not for the extra long reset, I'd be a big fan. Even so, I had no trouble being accurate with this pistol. Even with the short barrel, there's nothing wrong with how it puts rounds on target. Number 2, Smith & Wesson SD9 VE 9mm. Smith & Wesson introduced the Sigma pistol to the shooting world in 1994. It was a gun meant to be sold for less than their top-of-the-line M&P series of semi-auto pistols. Available in several calibers, the 9mm seems to have been the most popular. The gun used an action pretty similar to that used by Glock. It was so similar that Glock sued S&W over patent infringement. So in 1997, S&W and Glock settled out of court, with S&W paying an undisclosed amount of money to Glock. At that point, they redesigned the action a little to not tread on the Austrian gunmaker's proverbial toes again. The SDSW Sigma series was not very well received, to be blunt. The gun's trigger left a lot to be desired, so it was at this point that Apex and other companies began making replacement triggers for these guns. This helped the situation considerably, but the gun was not as popular as S&W had hoped. So in 2012, S&W redesigned the SD guns and introduced the improved models, the SDVE guns, in calibers 9mm and 40 S&W. Improvements included the trigger, a more ergonomic grip, and a stainless steel barrel. This gun felt good in the hand, at least the one I owned did. Decent 3-dot sights, that better trigger, and Glock-style takedown tabs and procedure helped improve the situation. Capacities ranged from 14 and 40 S&W to 16 and 9mm. Of course, 10-round magazines were made for those states that required them. To sum up, I like this pistol. I obviously did really like it once upon a time, since I was the original owner and shelled out the bucks for it. Does it have areas that could be improved? Of course. What doesn't? My point is that, the trigger's pull weight notwithstanding, it still is a good buy. Number 1. Walther CREED. All the major handgun manufacturers make at least one full-size polymer semi-automatic pistol. Most have 2. Many have more. Looking at Walther's product catalog, you'll find no less than 4 9mm polymer pistols with the same general weight, barrel length, height, finish, and capacity. In fact, the CREED is the exact same weight, same barrel, and overall length as the PPX. It also has the same finish, capacity, caliber, trigger, and almost the exact same shape. So why the CREED? What's the point? The point is price. The Walther CREED, MSRP's at $399. It can be found all over the web for an affordable $350. The trigger is pretty good. As advertised, it is 6 to 6.5 pounds, but it felt like less to me. This was probably due to the smoothness of the press action. The bobbed hammer is mostly cocked, and the last bit of pre-travel before break takes the hammer back with it. There is a lot of soft take-up, then a bit of firm travel, for the hammer. Then a nice crisp break. The reset is rather long, but not so long as to make a big thing of it. The frame is nicely done, but it has Warning Read Safety Manual cut into the right side, and CREED is milled into the left side of the slide. Not terrible, but they're both a bit tacky in my opinion. The frame's texture looks nice, but it is almost non-abrasive. Like every other polymer pistol, you'll have to stipple this one. The lack of replaceable backstraps is the first nod to the budget price, though the grip ergonomics are quite nice as is. Some will wonder why this pistol exists when there are already so many similar product out there. The reason is simple. The CREED is inexpensive, shoots minute of bad guy, and feels good in the hand. For the vast majority of people looking for an affordable home defense pistol, the CREED is just about as good as anything they'll be comparing it against for $50 to $100 less. That's a recipe for success.